So he is transitioning into a ground build now. Has tanks out, about 2 tanks that I saw, and he's going to work on getting out medic and marines soon. He has his second base established, as Action taking 2 more bases at the moment. He feels safe enough to defend 4 bases now. So if he gets these 4 bases up, comfortably mining, and doesn't lose all of his drones there, I'd say he's going to be in a good position to fight Leta back. So alright, let's see if he can make any use of these lurkers. So far he hasn't been able to do much with these lurkers. That'll help him defend his front if Leta goes out with the medic marine troop in a bit. But other than that, I don't see a way that he can get any damage done with the lurkers, since there are missile turrets at the front. And I think that Leta will now work on his scan. I think he's going to have double scan soon. Because if he wants to move out, he's got to have scan. There's a kind of a sigh from Action already. He's trying to position his build just the right place so he can take down these pesky wraiths. Alright, let's see what Leta does. He's still sticking at these 2 bases. I'd like to take a look at Leta's base now and see how many medic marines he has out, if any. I saw the tanks, but I didn't see a lot of medic marines. Yeah, Action focusing heavily on his upgrades. Because, yeah, he's definitely going to need some nice upgrades to fight back a huge medic and marine army. If you're working with Hydras against a medic marine army, I mean, they work well against Wraiths, of course, but oh, Hydra attack, sneak attack, able to snipe 1 Wraith. Nicely done there, completely caught Leta off guard. So Leta finds the 4th base, so now he knows exactly how many bases that Action has. So he's got to think about pushing out soon. Got to get those medic marines out. He does have the tanks already, so he's playing defensively with those tanks at home. Just got to work on those medic marines. Once he has enough medic marines out, he should be okay to do his push. Because this is a very powerful Terran army. Wraith, tank, medic, marine. It's very hard to tackle. And there's Leta scanning, trying to snipe the drones that have burrowed. Some nice burrowing from Action so far, using a sneak attack burrow and a protection burrow for the drones a bit. But now Leta trying to do what he did to Quanro, snipe drones at each of the bases. But unlike Quanro, it looks like Action has completely thought out the proper counter. And okay, here we go. Now Leta switching into that medic marine build from 4 barracks, still pumping probably Wraith and Science Vessel at the same time. So he is going to have a very powerful army out, but like I said, his economy is going to be dwindling if he doesn't get a ton of damage done with these Wraiths. He's still got to keep on the pressure at each of the bases from Action. He can't really let up with those Wraiths at this point. Just got to keep picking off drones until he does his push. But now Action is coming down the map with a huge amount of troops. I think a bunch of Hydralisks in the mix. Yeah, a bunch of Hydralisks down there, and the Lurkers at the same time going to try to push the front. This is going to delay the push even longer for Leta. So let's see what kind of damage that Action can get done. The Wraiths aren't going to be able to do much against those Hydras, but they will be able to help pick off Lurkers easily. But this could be a nice timing window for Action, because I don't see many Marines out. I saw the initial medics, but I don't see many Marines to help out the medics. So if he pushes now, gets a nice Lurker surround, takes down the turrets, and everything like that, it might be it might work out if he's able to get rid of all the Marines at the front. Here's a drop from Leta inside of the main, doing his best to fight back these Hydras, but I don't think he's going to have enough to do this. He does have Cloak, though, and there are no Overlords in the vicinity. There are Spore colonies, though, and that's what's keeping Leta at bay for the time being. Poor medics are going to live a very short life. And here comes the Overlord now, Overlord speed. And I saw a Defiler there for Action, so he's already gotten up to Defiler tech, which kind of spells doom for the next push from Leta. And there's a very, very lucky drone. It's unburrowed right when it should have died. But, okay, Leta still preparing the push. I think he's a little bit behind on his push because he tried to do that drop inside the main. That was a very unsuccessful drop. It would have worked out great if he had maybe 2 dropships at that point, but now things are looking pretty bleak for Leta because he's going to push out soon and there's going to be Dark Swarm to deal with, which his Wraiths aren't going to help with much. But alright, here comes the push from Leta. Probably not as many troops as he'd want to get out in this push, but now he's getting all of his troops out of those bunkers, and he is going for the full push, going to try to take this down before Dark Swarm can make his life a living hell. Alright, here he is, inching forward with those tanks. If he can irradiate the initial Defiler here, it might be a lot better for him. There's the Dark Swarm. Leta got to back off with his tanks and his medic marines, but Action pushing him back. So, okay, Leta a little bit slow to react there, pulling back with his tanks now. Another closed Dark Swarm, so Leta got to go all the way back to his natural expansion. He's not going to survive this if he keeps that close with his tanks, but he does get back. Only loses a few tanks there. A lot of damage done to the other tanks, though. And now Action is pushing it all the way home. Oh, boy, not looking good now for Leta. The tanks that were badly damaged, most of them went down there from the, Lurker Fire. Such a lot of damage there to the tanks. All the tanks are pretty much gone. The Medic Marines survived, but without tank support, he's not going to be able to do critical damage to that natural expansion, take out the sunken colonies at each of the bases. So, oh man, okay, more Defilers, 3 Defilers coming down for Action. This is such a great counter to what Leta is doing, but he's going to run into these Wraiths now. The Wraiths, as long as he takes care of the Hydralisk, the Wraiths are going to have a field day here. And the Overlord, 1 Overlord in support. I don't see any additional Overlords with that troop if there are no... Oh, nice Plague, though. And the Plague acts as a detection because Action is going to be able to see the Plagued units and snipe them at the same time. Goodbye, Wraiths. Man, nicely played. The head tilt from Leta like, crap. And it's lost everything. But he is going for that brand new base, the 4th base from Action. And I think the Action is going for a counterattack at Leta's natural expansion, which is the smartest thing to do, since Leta is only at 2 bases now. Leta trying to defend at home. I think it's going to be unsuccessful, though. He only has a couple of tanks at home. A few tanks now, but the Dark Swarm, the Dark Swarm is being the deciding factor now. Action is going to lose this base, his 4th base. But I do think he'll have enough to protect his 3rd base and be able to take down all of Leta's production buildings. So I think he's pretty much clinched his victory here. The natural expansion gone for Leta. A burrowed Hydralisk. I think those Hydralisks were in with the Lurkers or something. Just hit burrow on all of them. But Leta's taking down the base. Trying to figure out what he needs to do next. He needs to play very, very defensively. Come back home with his forces that are out in the field. He got some damage done, so now he's got to fall back and be defensive, but things are not looking good for Leta at all. Not able to mine from a second-only mining base. I don't even think he has any mining inside of his main right now. I'm looking down. I don't see a little bit of mineral in tank from Leta, but not much at all. So, yeah, look at this. The two mineral patches. The SCV is just kind of sitting around staring at it like, what do we do with 2 mineral patches? I don't know. But the science vessel's still in. Plenty of science vessels. So if Leta is going to break through and get some damage done, he's going to have to do it with the science vessels, make use of those with irradiates. There's the defensive matrix of the tank at the front actually being very effective, but still it's not going to be enough. Oh, nice Plague from Action on all the science vessels. Oh, it's a very smart play from Action in this game. So it looks like he is going to take this game and move into the round of 8. And I'd have to say deservedly so. This was an excellently played game by Action. Just made all the right moves. GG from Leta. But Leta can't frown there. There's going to be no frown from Leta. He's moving up into the round of 8 anyway. Knocking out Bisu and Effort, the defending champion, is Action, our Mafia Zerg. Do you owe him minerals? You better pay up. Well, Sespen Nuke, going to move on to Group B.